This is Dr. Percy J. Setra, Assistant Professor, Department of EC, Bharat Institute of Higher Education and Research. In this video, we'll be seeing about the evolution of wireless mobile communication. Wireless mobile communication has become more popular due to the random changes in the mobile technology. The fast development is due to the increase in telecom customers. For example, the wireless mobile communication has revolutionized from first generation to fifth generation as of now. In the first generation mobile communication system, which evolved in the year 1980, it used only the analog voice signals. In the first generation mobile communication system, there were only human to human early mobile phones were used. And when coming to this second generation mobile communication system, which evolved in the year 1990, it used only the digital voice signals. So there was a transformation from analog voice signal to the digital voice signal when coming to the second generation mobile communication system. In the second generation mobile communication system, there were limitations such as low speed data, voice and some text messages were allowed in the second generation mobile communication system. When coming to this third generation mobile communication system, which evolved in the year 2000s, in which a mobile broadband technology came into picture and in which high-speed data and internet access were allowed. And from 2000 to 2010, in a decade, there was a development in 4G technology. This 4G technology, this provided a faster and better 3G technology advancement. It were based on IP based network, and the 4G technology was able to provide a high-speed internet, streaming apps, etc. So this 4G technology is just an advancement of the 3G, where in case of the 3G, we'll be having only the low speed data, and when we coming to this fourth generation mobile technology, we could see there was a faster and better 3G communication system were there. The 5G technology, it in a decade of you could see in 2020 we have seen there is a evolution of this 5G technology in which interconnected devices, sensors and systems came into picture. This 5G technology could be more useful for the consumers, government and businesses. So when coming to this first generation mobile communication technology, it emerged in the year 1980. This used only the analog transmission of the speed signal services. In 1979, the first cellular system in the world operated by Nippon Technology and Telegraph was operated at Japan. At that time, most of the analog systems were Nordic mobile telephones and total access communication systems. The main drawback of all those systems is that it offered handover and RAN roaming capabilities, but the cellular networks were unable to operate between countries. In 1982, Advanced Mobile Phone System was launched in the United States. Advanced Mobile Phone Systems and Total Access Communication System, it uses a frequency modulation technique and frequency division duplex for radio transmission. In this generation, it uses frequency division multiple access technique, which is one of the multiple access techniques, and the channel bandwidth in this technique is about 30 kilohertz. When coming to the second generation technology, it could see it enable the multiple services providers like multimedia messages from various mobile phone networks were provided, and text messages were also allowed in second generation technology. The 2G communication systems were commercially launched on Global System for Mobile Communication Standard in the year 1991. The primary goals and benefits of 2G networks are the phone conversation were digitally encrypted, and 2G systems were significantly more efficient on the spectrum, allowing for greater mobile phone penetration levels. Only the second generation technology, it introduces data services for mobile, starting with the SMS text messages. So the second generation mobile communication techniques were based on two multiple access techniques like time division multiple access, that is TDMA, and code division multiple access, that is CDMA. So the second generation mobile technology were based on these two multiple access systems. And when coming to this GPRS, it were enabled in the second generation, and this used 2.5G. So this could enable much faster communication. And the second generation mobile communication, it uses packet switching and circuit switching domain to provide a data rate of up to 144 kilobytes per second. When coming to this less popular area, that is the rural areas, the weaker signal may not be sufficient to reach the cell tower. This tends to be a particular problem in 2G systems deployed on higher frequency, but it's not a problem on a lower frequency 2G systems. So when coming to the difference between the first generation and the second generation system, the digital traffic channels, that is, in the first generation systems are almost purely analog, and in second generation systems are digital. So the second generation system provided the digital traffic channels. So when coming to this encryption, all the second generation systems provided encryption, and it prevents eavesdropping. That is, all the data were encrypted and we couldn't steal from the communication channel. That is, it had prevented the eavesdropping problem. And other thing is that error detection and correction. The second generation digital traffic allows for the detection and correction, and it gives a clear voice reception. There is a clear reception of a voice signal in case of the second generation system compared to the first generation system. And the channel access. When coming to this channel access, the second generation systems allows channel to be dynamically shared by the number of users. So in case of the second generation system, number of users can share the channel dynamically. So next is the third generation system. This was carried out by International Telecommunication Union in the year 1980. The 3G frequency spectrum is between 400 MHz to 3 GHz. So the technical specification for the 3G system were available to the public by ignited the International Mobile Telecommunication 2000. So there should be a standard for releasing a third generation mobile system, and it came under International Mobile Telecommunication, that is IMT 2000. The first commercial 3G technology was launched by NTT Docomo in the year 2001 in Japan, and this used WCDMA coding techniques. So the advantages are it provided fixed wireless internet access, and there is also possible for wireless voice telephony, video calls were allowed, mobile internet access were provided, and a mobile TV is also comes under this third generation. So in the third generation mobile, when coming to this in the year of 2000, you could see many people were using the wireless internet access. They were video calls, a possibility of the video calls, mobile internet access were provided, and also in the mobile we could able to see the television. So this services which are advertised as 3G are required to meet the IMT standard. So the services which we are going to provide through this 3G system should follow the international standard 2000. So including the standards for there should be a possibility for good reliability and speed. This also should be met under this IMT standard. So to meet the standard, the system is required to provide a peak data rate of at least 200 kbps per second. kbps. So many services which were advertised as 3G provide higher speed than the minimum technical requirements for a 3G service. So recent 3G release, often denoted as 3.5G and 3.75G, also provide mobile broadband access of several megabytes per second to smartphones and modems in laptop computers. So the third generation mobile communication technology was providing a good broadband access of several Mbps to smartphones, as well as we could connect through the modem in a laptop computers. So next is the fourth generation technology. This increasing growth of user demand and also the emergence of the new technologies in the mobile communication. So nowadays we could see there is no person without a phone, that is a 4G phone. No one is having a least brand of technologies. So everyone has gone advanced and they have gone to the fourth generation mobile technology, and this growing demand of this user towards this 4G technology have triggered the users, researchers and the industries to come up with the 4G wireless communication in mobile technology. So the main concept of transition to this all IP is to have a common platform for all the technologies that have to develop so far, so as to harmonize with the user expectation of the many services to be provided. Nowadays, all people are using mobile phones for every services. Every service are being used. So in a 4G mobile communication system, it should have a common platform so that all the technologies that have to be developed has to be gone into the user expectations of many services they are using. So the main difference between all IP and GSM 3G is the functionality of RNC, and the base station controller is distributed to base transceiver station and a set of servers and gateways. So this 4G technology is providing multi-service capability. So it is ability to provide the multiple service by integrating all the technology that exists. So as for what are the technology which are present in the mobile communication system is all integrated, and it is given in the 4G technology, such as GSM, GPRS, IMT 2000 standard, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and Zigbee. All these technologies are united and present in the fourth generation mobile communication system. And this 4G is much faster and it is less expensive. So the 4G phones, which are mobile phones which we are using, is able to provide the faster data rate, and it is also coming up with a less cost. So it's user friendly and the smart operating functions, flexibility, and it is also providing a good quality of service. When compared with the 3G phone, this 4G mobile service operators are providing a data rate at higher speed. So the quality of service is very good at any time and anywhere. The 4G technology started in the year 2010, but it came into the market only by 2015 to 2016. So it is able to provide a peak data rate of about 1 Gbps per second for downlink and 500 Mbps for uplink. So the data transfer rate is very high when compared to the 3G technology. This fourth generation technology, it is considered as a long-term evolution, and it gives additional features of 3G like wireless broadband access, multimedia message services, video chat is being provided in the 4G technology, mobile TV is there, and also we could also be able to see the high definition mobile TV, HD TV content is provided, and digital video broadcasting is also possible in the 4G technology. So in the 4G mobile phone, we are able to access the wireless broadband access. We could also send the multimedia messages. We could have in video chat. We could also see the mobile TV. And in the high definition content is also possible. These are the possibilities and additional features of this 3G phone. So the minimal services being provided are voice and the data. This 4G technology is widely accepted that the individual access network will interface to the core over a IP protocol. So a common IP protocol is there through which the individual should access the networks and interfere to the core through this IP protocol. IMT Advanced 4G Standards provides a global platform on which to build a next generation to interactive mobile services. So this is going to be going to provide a global platform to build the next generation interactive mobile services at a faster data rate access, enhanced roaming capability, and unified messaging and broadband multimedia. This 4G mobile communication system, it is going to providing faster data access, and also when we roam from one area to other area, we are able to get enhanced roaming capabilities and unified messages, and broadband multimedia services also provided in the 4G technology. So next is the fifth generation technology. This fifth generation technology, it is a very fast and reliable to a new mobile revolution in the mobile market. So this is going to be revolutionize the mobile market, and this is going to be very fast when compared to the 4G, and it is also reliable. All the services in of the networks and application, they are going to be accessed by the single IP address. So all the applications such as telephone calls, gamings, or other multimedia applications, they are going to be accessed by a single IP address. Through this technology, the worldwide cellular technology is going to come under one umbrella. We are going to have an entire worldwide cellular services under the one umbrella, that is by using this 5G technology. This 5G network carries extraordinary data capabilities and has abilities to thrive with together unrestricted call volumes. This 5G technology is going to provide unrestricted call volumes, infinite data broadcast within the upcoming mobile operating system. So this 5G mobile with nano core, that is this 5G technology is coming up with the convergence of upcoming technologies like nanotechnology, cloud computing, and entire IP platform is being used for this 5G mobile communication system. And this 5G technology, it requires secure and reliable service providers capabilities, and that operators have deep expertise in. So in 5G technology, all the data is going to come under a common IP protocol, so it requires a secure and reliable service providers so that the data is not being stolen, and the capabilities that all the operators working under this 5G technology should have a deep expertise in. Also, this uploading, when coming to this uploading and downloading, the data speed rate is going to touch the peak in the 5th generation technology. So in the 5G wireless technology, it consists of an user terminal and a number of autonomous radio access technology. So a user is going to access a number of radio access technology. So within each terminal, each of the radio access technology is seen as an IP link to the outside internet web. So when a user is having a multiple radio access technology, each of this radio access technology is seen as an IP link. Every technology, radio access technology is seen as an IP link. It is going to connect to the outside internet world. However, there will be different radio interface for each radio access technology in the terminal. So for each radio access technology, there will be a different radio interface. This is the concept. So the link of communication from end to end, that is between a client and a server using an IP protocol, is necessary. So when I'm going to access a particular radio access technology, that is if I'm a client and I am wanted to connect to the server through to a particular radio access technology, there should be appropriate internet socket. So that if I am claiming for a particular radio access technology, that internet socket should determine the application of the client and the server. So in case of interoperability between heterogeneous network, that is between different networks, and for a vertical handover between respective radioactive technology, the local and the destination IP address will be fixed and it will not be changed. So all the radio access technology that is available to the user is achieving connectivity with the relevant radio access that is presented with appropriate IP interface. So appropriate IP interface is necessary so as to achieve a connectivity with the relevant radio access that is preferred by the user. So this 5G technology, it is possible to provide a large broadcasting in gigabytes per second, which is supporting almost 65,000 connections. So 65,000 connections, it is there is a possibility to support almost 65,000 capabilities, and is providing the large broadcasting. The broadcasting range is also in the Gbps per second. So in 5G technology, the expected requirements are, since it is an advanced technology, the expectations will be very high, and these requirements are that it should provide an increased throughput. Also, there should be a very low battery power consumption, and every mobile in the 5G technology will be having a IPv6 address according to the location and the network being used. So 5G technology is going to have every mobile that is in 5G technology is going to have an IPv6 address that is according to the location on the network being used. In 5G technology, there is going to be a possibility of cheaper data traffic fees due to the low infrastructure deployment cost. So also there is an enhancement in the data rate that is provided, that it is going to provide a high data rate. And also there is a possibility for multiple data transfer path. Multiple data transfer path is being provided in the 5th generation technology. This 5th generation technology is going to be a worldwide wireless web. So the comparison of the data rate. So when we compare the data rates provided by 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th, we could see that in 2nd generation, which is based on GPRS or Edge, it is going to provide a maximum data rate of about 470 kbps per kbps. So in 3G technology, which was based on GPA, HSPA plus, it is going to provide a maximum data rate of up to 30 megabytes per second. 4G technology, it is going to provide a maximum data rate of 1000 megabits per second. The 5th generation technology, it is going to provide a data rate in Gbps, that is gigabytes per second, that is 7.2 gigabits per second, and it was tested by Samsung. So the 6 advantages of this 5G mobile broadband technology is that it is providing a decrease in latency. Okay, delivering latency as low as 1 millisecond. When coming to the spectrum efficiency, we could achieve even more bits per hertz with advanced antenna techniques. So experience throughput, it is going to bring about more uniform and multi-Gbps peak rates. The data rate is in a multiple gigabytes per second. The connection density, when coming to this connection density, is going to enable more sufficient signaling for IoT, Internet of Things connectivity. The traffic capacity is also, it is driving network hyperdensification with more smaller cells everywhere. Network efficiency, when coming to this network efficiency, optimizing network energy consumption with more efficient processing. So we could see a comparison between the fourth and the fifth generation, the latest two technologies. We could see the downloading speed of 4G technology is only 10 MB per second, megabytes per second. When coming to this fifth generation, it's 100 MB per second. In coming to this latency, the latency this has decreased by 10 in multiples of 10. We could see in fifth generation technology, the latency is only about 1 millisecond, and when coming to the 4G technology, it is 10 milliseconds. So it has decreased a latency of about the multiples of 10. So when coming to this maximum bandwidth, the maximum bandwidth provided by this 5G technology is 100 megahertz, whereas in case of 5G technology, the maximum bandwidth is 1000 megahertz. So to conclude, by combining the current and the previous performance of this wireless mobile communication, it is still unable to solve the unending problems of poor coverage, bad internet connectivity, flexibility, and poor quality of service. These are the problems we face when we go to the rural areas, where we will be having a poor coverage, poor network connectivity, and poor quality of service is also seen in the areas of rural areas. So the main advantage of this fifth generation is that it will revolutionize the field of wireless communication domain to a completely new features and services, making world a smarter place to live. So this fifth generation technology is really going to be an advancement, and it is revolutionize the field of this wireless communication. This is going to provide new features and services, making world a smarter place to live. And this helps to provide a strong links between people working in different fields. For example, people are working towards this nanotechnology, cloud computing, and internet services. So this fifth generation technology is going to create a future concept of mobile communication by uniting people from different fields. So in fifth generation, the main thing is that utilizing existing bandwidth through innovative network design. This is the main need of this fifth generation technology. So these are the things relating to this evolution of wireless mobile communication systems. So next we will move on to the types of mobile radio communication system. There are three types of mobile radio communication system: simplex, half duplex, and full duplex. When coming to the simplex, there is only one way of communication. For example, we could see it as a paging systems. In paging systems, pagers will be receiving only the message, and we will not be able to acknowledge the recipient of this message. This is the example of this simplex mobile communication system. When coming to this half duplex, it is a two-way communication but through the same channel. So in this half duplex technique, the same frequency spectrum is being used. Example is push to talk and release to listen. So when we have to send a message, we have to push a button so that we could talk. So as to listen the message, we have to release so that we could listen the message. So in this half duplex system, it is a two-way communication, but it is occurring through the same channel. When coming to this full duplex system, it is a two-way communication, but we are using the two different channels. Example is cordless systems. In this cordless system, it uses two techniques like frequency division duplexing and time division duplexing. When coming to this frequency division duplexing, it consists of two simplex channels with fixed and known frequency separation. So we'll be using a frequency separation which is known, but we are using the two simplex channels. This FDD maximum, it is used only for this analog system. For uplink and downlink, we'll be using the two different frequency channels, and there will be a sufficient separation between these frequency channels. When coming to this time division duplexing, a single radio channel is shared in time. So this, as the name implies, it's time division. So a portion of the time is being used to transmit data from base station to the mobile system, and the remaining time is from mobile system to the base station. In time division duplexing, only the digital formats are being used. So the types of wireless mobile communication system, we'll see first the paging systems. The paging systems are the communication system that sends a brief message to a subscriber. Okay, in a pages will be sending only a brief message. For example, the message may be either a numeric message, alphanumeric message, or a voice message. Normally, the message which is being sent through a pager is defined as a page. So, when a recipient of this message sees the message, he says he has received the page. This is used to notify a subscriber of need to call a particular telephone number, or he has to travel to the known location to receive further information. So in this pages will be just giving a notification so as to call to a particular number, or you should travel to the known location to receive further information. In modern paging system, news headlines, stock quotations, faxes may be sent. The paging system access number is a toll-free number. This is used to send a page to a subscriber. So depending upon the complexity and the coverage, paging systems are classified as simple paging systems and wide area paging systems. In case of simple paging systems, it is covering only a small area, that is, it is confined inside a building or a local area. Kilometers of about 2 to 5 kilometers is only being covered by this paging system. When coming to this wide area paging system, it is going to provide a worldwide coverage. So this could be used anywhere, and it could be used as a mobile phone. So this is the paging system in which PSTN is the public service telephone number. It has a paging control, and it has a number of landline links which is connecting to a paging terminal which is present in the city 1. There is a paging terminal in the city 2, and similarly a paging terminal which is present in the city N. Each of these paging terminals is connected to a base station. This is the base station which is present in different cities. So this is the satellite link. This satellite link is used to provide a wide area coverage when using this paging system. So when a message is being sent from the paging control center, it reaches the paging terminal and the base station, and the recipient of the message will get a message from any of these base station. So the paging systems are, when coming to this paging system, they are simple and inexpensive. And it is also a possibility to provide the simulcasting is possible through this paging system. And this paging system, it is going to provide a reliable communication to the subscribers. And this paging system usually requires large transmitter powers and a low data rate. That is around couple of thousand bits per second. For example, 6400 bits per second is even enough for a paging system. Next is the cordless telephone system. These are the, when coming to this cordless telephone, this is based on the full duplex communication system. This uses radio to connect a portable handset to a dedicated base station, which is then connected to a dedicated phone line. But as we know that cordless telephone systems are a portable handset, we could see a cordless phone which when a person is having, he'll be receiving signals from the base station regularly, and this could be even to be connected to a dedicated telephone line. So you could receive a message from this dedicated line to this portable handset. So in the first generation cordless system, which were deployed in the year 1980, it allowed only for a few meters of mobility. This portable handset, this operates as an extension telephone to a transceiver. So it is just like an extension phone which you could take outside your home, and it is connected to a transceiver, which is connected to a subscriber on a public service telephone number. So the second generation, this evolution of this first generation cordless system into the second generation, this allowed subscribers to use handsets at outdoor locations. The first, it was used in London and Hong Kong, and this could provide a mobility of few hundred kilometers. So this is how this public service telephone number is being connected to a fixed base station, which is providing signal at the area where the base station is there. It could provide signal to the cordless handset. Thank you.